That's right, guys. New intro for you finally, and I have another one that I'm working on where I take Wretchedcookie's dog tag, so that'll be coming out soon. But finally got a chance to get some chopper gameplay for you guys, and it's in the Havoc, but it's still pretty good gameplay. Here, what you're seeing is just Kremis and I switching seats after we finally get to the Havoc from the spawn, and he parachutes out. I take over the gunner or pilot seat and come back and pick him up. He's newer to the choppers. Kremis spends a lot of time in the tanks, and he's just getting some unlocks now. But I definitely try to do the flying if he's in the helicopter attack chopper. So you're looking at Havoc gameplay on Operation Firestorm. Not a huge kill game, but we're pretty effective in suppressing their armor, and along with Wretchedcookie and the jet, keeping their air support down. I do get harassed by the jets all game long, but I don't have to deal with the Viper too much. So basically, the way we start a game out, or that I like to, is the first stage here is anti-air. Wretchedcookie is hopefully in a jet, I'm in a chopper, and we take out their air support first. Once we do that, you'll see coming up, we're going to move on to suppressing armor. And the last thing we're going to worry about is the infantry or supporting flags. You know, I feel that by suppressing their air support and suppressing their armor, that's the biggest way we can help our team out. So that's how we start the game out. We got a chopper down, we got one jet down, and now we're going after the tanks here. I'll talk about my setup real quick. This is my preferred setup when I'm playing with someone I can talk to, such as Kremis. So I have the laser designator on, as you've just seen, and I always run the ECM jammer when I'm the pilot. That's become more of a necessity with so many people having CITV station unlocked and the SoFlame unlocked. Very powerful weapons against an attack chopper. One of the reasons I try to stay low like this is to avoid line of sight from those. So I run the ECM, and then of course you're forced to run the AA on the third slot as the pilot. What Kremis has on, I believe, is going to be stealth to help extend lock-on times for stingers and stuff, so we can get away. And here you can see we're fighting the Viper and jet again. We still don't have complete air superiority at this point, but Wretchedcookie's working on that, and he'll get that straightened out shortly. So Kremis is always going to be running the flare. The longer you stay up in the air, which we tend to do, the more anti-air you're going to get against you. So you're going to need that ECM flare combination. It's unfortunate. I love running, like as a gunner, the thermal optics are a blast to use. But unfortunately, you just don't get to use them because the enemy will take you out too quickly. And then for his third weapon, he's going to be running the air-to-ground missile, the AGM I call it. And that's to take advantage of the laser designator that I'm using. Right now, you can use that against enemy aircraft. It sounds like with the patch coming out, that's going to change. So what I'll be doing videos after I figure out if I'm still going to run the laser, if TV missile is more effective than. Right now, it's pretty hard to use. It's fun to use, but you got a lot higher kill percentage with the air-to-ground missile. So that's what we're running. That's an ideal setup. I'll change that out for guided rockets sometimes, especially if I'm not talking to my gunner. So, just kind of patrolling the skies at this point. We've taken out most of their armor, taken out their air, and that's pretty much all there is to do. I don't tend to cap flags too much in the Havoc, especially. It usually ends badly. I hear in the patch they're going to be buffing the Havoc. To what extent, we don't know. They're talking about buffing the rotation on it and the climb rate, which would basically be the speed, and make it a little more maneuverable. It's still going to have the issue of being bigger, like trying to fit through places, but we'll see. I'm kind of excited about that to balance out the choppers a little. right here's an example. This is a really great moment. We take this chopper out. I dive in. We get some shots on him. He goes dead. And as I rotate back, I'm presented with basically a Christmas present. I have 3 tanks heading away from me, and I'm high and above them to where they couldn't even hit me if they wanted to. So I go for the rear one first, and I bank to the right away from them, behind them again, just to try to stay out of line of sight of their turret. Lately I've been getting hit by tank turrets quite a bit. That's frustrating. So I'm trying to stay behind them. I take the first one out. We're locking on the second one, and I'm pretty sure we're the one that take him out here. And again, I bank around behind them. I'm pretty sure Kremis called out that tank was dead, so we head for the third one, and our team took care of him. So we took 2 of the 3 out, and I clean up some infantry here. I thought I did, I guess not. And I start getting locked onto, no idea where it's coming from. So I'm running back towards our spawn. I'm staying low to break the lock. And I don't think it's a CITV station because we just took out 3 tanks. I'm guessing it might be a jet, but given that it just broke on the video, I think it's probably a Stinger coming from the back of the map. That was a pretty fun moment though, coming down on top of the tanks like that, cleaning them up. So again, we just we go back on patrol here. I'm getting some more locks. I don't know if it's a jet. I don't run air radar ever, so I do have one of the disadvantages of this setup is I have trouble knowing if you get locked onto by a jet, by a Stinger, by a SOFLAM, by a CITV station. But these, look at the tank spawns. They're back up already. And right there, what you saw is I was looking for targets, but I didn't want to be one of those jerks spawn camping. So I back off. I head back to the middle of the map and wait for them to come out of their spawn. And I think that's important to the game. You know, it's easy in a chopper. Right here, I found that SOFLAM finally. So it was a SOFLAM locking onto me. And I get really lucky here and get a last-minute ECM jam on this rocket, and it must have just missed me. I wish we had some sort of battle recorder to see what was going on there. But back to my point about spawn camping, it's really easy to get drawn in, and you have them push back, and you win in. I know it's a close game still, but we have their vehicles pushed back pretty good. And I was really careful to just pull back out of the spawn and reposition. The downside is I let them establish a foothold again. But that's what makes the game fun, you know. Shooting choppers as the rotor starts spinning up isn't fun. There's no enjoyment for me. I don't feel skillful for doing that. So I'd rather give them a chance and make the game fun for them as well. But what's happened is basically we're starting a new round, so we reestablish air superiority, reestablish ground, anti-armor superiority, and the only difference is we're dealing with infantry that's established now. Again, just waiting. So, luckily I haven't had too much trouble with the Viper, and that's really a testament to Wretchedcookie. He's gotten pretty beast in the jets. Unfortunately, he's not recording yet, so I can't show you that footage from his perspective. But he knows one of his primary objectives when he's in the jet is to kill their Viper, Havoc, their attack chopper. Because realistically, that's my biggest threat. I like to stay low to the ground against enemy jets, and I have a lot of games where enemy jets will crash trying to kill me. Good jet pilots, I mean, they're still hard to fight. They'll take you down, but they have to. If I have a good jet pilot on my side who's taking out their chopper, he's also going to be something that their jets have to deal with, and that's going to give them even less time to make strafing runs on me or line up, along the sight line on me and come in slow. If they come in slow on me, they're going to die. So it makes it really easy to get these long games like this. Right here, we get triple cap somehow. Kremis is asking me to cap C, and that's one of my rules I try not to break, is I don't cap flags in attack choppers. Not that I don't have the control to hover over a flag, but I always end up dying. RPGs, tank rounds, something always kills me. 90% of the time. So what I was doing was kind of circling around Charlie, letting him try to shoot those guys that camp in that refinery there. It's inevitable. Someone's always camping there. Um, but I think he got a kill. We cleaned them up. We're trying to just give Wretchedcookie a hand and dealing with the jets in the air. It's always nice if we don't have any immediate targets or threats. We'll, just get a little altitude and help them out with the enemy jets, and then get back down to the ground level where we belong. But I think our transport just crashed right there. That's a lot of suicide. But we thought we had C cleared out, and something told us that we didn't. So right there you saw me use the free look. I don't know how many people you know about this. I'm on Xbox, and the down on the D-pad, the down button, will allow you to look around with the right joystick and maintain your flight path. So it's tricky to do on mouse. It's really easy with the right button, mouse button, but or whatever button you want to map. But that's how you do it on console. Down D-pad and look around with the right stick, but again you lose control of the chopper. So I don't employ it too much. But right there I wanted to see if anything was coming out of their spawn at me inside. So we still took Charlie, and we finally find this guy here, and I think Kremis cleans them up, maybe not. But we've had a good run at this point, and they're still fighting, they're still in it, although we've started to pull away. So we're just kind of searching for targets still, trying to stay away from their spawn, and get some kills, get some wins. They're capping flags pretty effectively. One thing we don't do that typically I'll do more of on this map is supporting flags directly. We spent a lot of this game as just anti-armor, anti-air, and one thing we didn't do a very good job of is getting at the flags and killing infantry out of the buildings and stuff. You can see all the walls are still intact, which isn't typical usually, and blowing walls out of the buildings most of the game. But they were pretty aggressive in bringing their tanks out at us. And getting those tanks on flags is a really good way to cap, so we kind of felt like we kept pretty busy just keeping their armor suppressed. And again, I just can't figure out what's locking me. I'm trying to get away from it. Who knows in this map? There's so many threats to get the people like to put flames up in the hills. And again, tanks always coming out with the CITV station. So I retreat, I reposition, I look for targets. This is where guided rocket comes around nice. You can sit pretty far back and snipe with those. But I tend to play aggressive with the laser designator and let my gunner get the kills with his AGM. As I dodge a light post barely. So here I'm getting tore up a little bit, and a jet flies by me, and the tank's got a good angle on me. So I let Kremis get off an AGM, and I try to get out of there. I think that tank, I don't think we finish him off, and I think it ends up being our downfall. Here in a little bit, he's the only death we have this game comes from a tank that grazes a light post and gets a nice shot on us. But it was a pretty good game. Our team was effective. Unfortunately, Corrupt got stuck on the other team, and that doesn't happen too often. But this is the second video I put up. There's my death. Second video I put up on this map where he got stuck on the other team, and it's unfortunate. We want to get a video where he's in the gunner seat so we can do a dual perspective. But that was the end of the game. We got back in the chopper for about a minute, but there was no action, so I cut that out. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll definitely be bringing more. I got a Viper gameplay that I'm going to be bringing out this week as well. This is Fets signing off for 11 Bravo.